Guys, want to take a minute today, make a video about the Rep Fitness Zero Gap Adjustable Bench. So I've had about a month and a half, 2 months, used it pretty frequently. Think that I've kind of got a pretty good handle on the pros and cons. So I want to share that with you, hopefully address any concerns, questions you may have about it, and help you make a more informed decision if you're looking at getting an adjustable bench, don't know which one to get. If you're looking and considering the zero gap, hopefully I can help shed some light on the situation, help you make a more informed decision. So without further ado, I'm going to flip this around and look at the bench press here. So to start out, we have the zero gap. Why it has the name zero gap, as you probably know, is because this pad and this pad, the lower pad and the upper pad, are pushed together, so there's zero gap here. So when you're setting up for a bench press or whatever the case may be, your upper body's locked in and your lower body is able to lock in, and you're not falling into the abyss, which is the gap between most adjustable bench presses and the pads. So this is accomplished right down here with this pop pin, so you can slide this up and down and adjust the space. So no matter what height you have this upper portion set to, you can bring this lower pad to it and create that zero gap. So that is a great feature. Obviously the big differentiation point between this bench and other adjustable benches on the market. Next, we'll look at some of the finer details. So we have right here is a metal laser cutout kind of insignia with the zero gap logo right there. So that's a nice touch. Just adds to the kind of overall quality of the bench. Then here we also have laser cutout numbers to signify the angle at which you're setting the bench to with these pop pins. And these pop pins are pretty quality. They are smooth. Everything, these adjustments are really smooth, quality parts and everything. You have another laser cutout logo right there with metal. So they didn't just slap a sticker on it. They added that metal portion, which makes it, just every little detail like that makes it a more quality product. So now we'll come to the head of the bench here. We have this pop pin here and this adjustment screw to really tighten it into place. So this is for the leg attachment. If you're going to use this as a decline bench, you can insert the leg attachment right here, adjust the height of it if you have longer legs or shorter legs, and then screw this tight to really lock it into place. So if you're doing decline work, you don't want to set it to an angle and slide it off once you have the weight in your hands and end up on the floor with a barbell on top of you. So you can use the leg attachment and take care of that. The next thing is right down here. As you can see, you can see better on this wheel over here. You have that squared off portion of the frame around the wheel. And what that does, it allows you to stand this bench upright, and it'll be resting on this little portion of the frame and this upper pad. So if you are limited on space and you're not using the bench press, you can flip it and store it upright and give yourself a little bit more extra space in your setup. So that is a really nice feature. The last thing I'll go over is the material on this. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. The material on this upper portion is a really grippy material. So if you're setting up for a bench press, you're not going to be sliding off of it. Even with a little sweat, it really grips. This lower portion is just the normal kind of bench padding. So the only thing I would say is I wish that all of the padding was this grippy material. It just kind of bothers me that these upper and lower pads don't match. Makes me feel like I ruined this lower pad and had to get it refinished. But anyways, not a deal breaker by any means. Another thing is the total weight of the bench. It's a super solid, sturdy, well-constructed bench, but with that comes a little bit extra weight. So moving it around, it can be a little cumbersome, but as a home gym owner, I would say for the most part, you have your equipment where you need it. if you really are limited on space and you have to kind of set everything up and tear it back down every time, this bench may be a little bit frustrating because it is a little bit more on the cumbersome side. But I would say for the most part, it's not too heavy by any means to be able to like move it just a little bit. I mean, we're in smaller spaces here as home gym owners, so 10-15 feet, it's not going to be unbearable to move a little bit heavier bench. But with that extra weight comes extra stability, so I believe it is a fair trade-off and you are getting a really quality bench. I'm going to flip this around now. Last thing I will say is assembly. Assembly was super easy. The only thing you had to attach was the upper pads. You had 6 bolts to screw into the one pad and then 4 into the other, so 10 bolts total there. And then the foot plates, the upper one with the wheels and the lower one with the Zero Gap logo on it. You had 2 bolts on each of those, so 14 bolts total. You put it together. They give you all the tools you need to put it together, so you don't have to worry about, like, I don't have an Allen wrench to tighten this bolt. They give it to you, so really easy assembly. Took me maybe 15 minutes. If you have somebody helping you, probably not going to take more than 10. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Zero Gap adjustable bench. If you have any comments, questions, something you're curious about that I didn't address, leave it in the comments below and I will answer the best of my ability. And yeah, that is my total review. Overall, it's a great bench. Highly recommend it if you're in the market for an adjustable bench. You can't go wrong. It's a great deal for the price compared to other benches on the market. And nobody else has the Zero Gap design, so that's an innovation. And I like to kind of acknowledge that innovation. They're not just copying somebody else. They're innovating, creating their own, and making it a really quality product. So yeah, overall, great. Highly recommend. And please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.